It starts quietly, as many things do. A man, let's call him Frank, wakes up one morning and something just feels dimmer. He's not in pain. He's not sick. But the spark that used to be there, it's flickering now. He sits on the edge of the bed, looks down at his hands, then glances over at the woman he's shared a life with for decades. She's still there, so is the love. But the connection, that unspoken current between them that's grown faint, like a radio just off tune. That morning when he goes to shave, he doesn't quite recognize the man in the mirror. The lines are deeper, sure. The skin's a little dull. But it's not just age he sees, it's absence. And that's when the questions begin quiet, stubborn, and persistent. Is this it? Is this what aging means? Losing little pieces of yourself until one day, you don't remember how it felt to be fully alive? I've listened to men just like Frank, retired welders, teachers, veteransmen who've carried families, built homes, survived recessions, and buried friends. And the one thing they rarely say out loud is the thing they most often feel. Something in me has gone quiet. I'm Dr. Thomas Leighton. For over 40 years, I've worked alongside men facing the quiet burdens of aging. And let me tell you, what steals our strength isn't always time. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's blood that no longer flows the way it used to. See, we've been told that fading energy, weaker desire, and those nights that pass without a trace of intimacy are all just part of getting older. But I'd like to offer another truth. In many men, especially past 60, the real issue is poor circulation-narrowed blood vessels, often right in the pelvic region. The veins and arteries that once carried fire now trickle like a dried-up creek. It's not your fault, but it is your fight. And here's the quiet shocker. Restoring that flow, that life force, doesn't require a prescription or a procedure. Sometimes it just takes a glass, a small homemade drink with 4 simple ingredients: fresh beets, lemon, raw ginger, and coconut water. Nothing fancy, nothing synthetic, just nature doing what it's always done if we let it. This isn't about performance. It's not about trying to be who you were at 30. It's about something deeper: presence, connection. That feeling of waking up and realizing your body still remembers what it means to be alive. If that message stirs something in you, just type 1 in the comments. If you're unsure, that's okay too. Type 0. Either way, thank you for listening. Let me share with you what I've seen, not in theory, but in real lives. There's Robert, 66, a kind man, soft-spoken. Said he loved his wife more now than ever before, but hadn't felt fully there in over a year. His words, not mine. We didn't start with testosterone shots. We didn't hand him a bottle of pills. We started with beets. Now, I know what you're thinking. Beets? Really? That odd root vegetable you ignored in the produce aisle? Yes, and here's why. Beets are rich in natural nitrates compounds. Your body turns into nitric oxide. That little molecule relaxes blood vessels, opens the floodgates, and lets circulation return where it matters most. For men over 60, that shift can feel like someone turned the power back on. When Robert added beets to his morning, he called me within days. "Doc," he said, "I didn't think I'd feel this way again." His skin looked brighter, his voice carried more weight, and Yesh's connection to his wife returned, not just physically, but emotionally too. Beets don't just awaken circulation. They help your brain, your heart, even your liver. But what I care most about is what they do to the spirit. They remind you that change is still possible even after 60. Now, if beets are the fire starter, lemon is what keeps that fire burning clean and steady. I remember Harold, age 70. A good man. Lived with quiet dignity. He'd been walking daily, eating better, doing everything right. Still, he told me, "Doc, it's like my body's trying, but the light's not turning on." We added fresh lemon. That was it. Fresh, not the stuff in the bottle. And something shifted. See, lemon isn't just sour. It's a catalyst. It contains vitamin C, which helps your body absorb the good stuff from beets. Think of it like this. Beets open the door, but lemon flips the switch. But lemon also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that creeps in and dulls desire. It supports the liver, reduces inflammation, and brings a lightness back to your mind. After a few days, Harold came in smiling. Said, "Doc, I feel like I'm waking up again. Like myself." And that's the quiet miracle of this drink. It doesn't reinvent you. It reintroduces you to the man you've always been. If you've been following this journey so far, and something in you feels just a little bit more hopeful than before, I invite you to hit the subscribe button. I'll be here with more reflections, made for men like you who still have life to live and stories to write. Now let's talk about the next piece of this ritual. Because while beets fire things up and lemon brings clarity, there's one ingredient that brings back the fire in a deeper way. Ginger. But not the powdered stuff you shake into a stew. No raw. Real, fresh ginger root. That's the key. Let me tell you about a man named Samuel. He was 72, retired from teaching, and sharp as a tack, but something inside him had dulled. He sat in my office one rainy afternoon, and with a voice just above a whisper, he said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore. I'm not tired. I'm just not there." That's hard to hear, and even harder for a man to admit, because we're raised to push through, to swallow silence, to carry on even when we're crumbling a little each day. We'd already started with beets and lemon, and things were shifting, but not deeply enough. That's when I brought ginger into his morning routine. It wasn't magic. It was molecular. Ginger does something powerful to the aging male body. Modern studies show that ginger can raise testosterone levels sometimes up to 17%, especially in men whose natural production is slowed. But there's more to it than that. Ginger quiets cortisol, the stress hormone that creeps into your bloodstream, tightens your chest, fogs your mind, and slowly kills your sense of desire. Not just sexual desire, but desire for living, for showing up. Samuel came back a week later. His handshake was firmer, his eyes were clearer, and he smiled in a way I hadn't seen before. He said, "Doc, I'm not pushing anymore. I just feel like me again. Natural. Present." That's what ginger does. It restores without forcing. It gives back the kind of balance most men forget is even possible. When your hormones and your nervous system are aligned, your body no longer sees intimacy as pressure. It sees it as connection. And that changes everything. But even with all that beets for flow, lemon for activation, ginger for fire, there's still one piece most men forget. It's the foundation beneath it all. Hydration. Not the kind you get from a quick sip of tap water. I'm talking about cellular hydration. That's where coconut water comes in. Leonard was the one who taught me this, even if he didn't mean to. He was 69, walked 5 miles every morning, cooked his own meals, did everything right. But still, he felt off. "Doc," he said, "I'm doing all the right things, but I still feel half alive." So I asked him, "How much water are you drinking?" He paused, smiled sheepishly. "Not enough." We added 1 cup of unsweetened coconut water to his daily drink. That's all. And within a few days, the man I saw walk through the door was different, more upright, more alert, more there. See, coconut water is nature's electrolyte drink. It's full of potassium and magnesium minerals. Your cells need to function, to move, to respond. As we age, even a little dehydration can stiffen blood vessels, slow nerve signaling, and kill arousal at the root. You may not feel thirsty, but your cells are. Coconut water hydrates you where it counts, deeply, silently. And when that hydration returns, the entire system lights up. Leonard told me, "Doc, I finally feel like the light is on and the power's flowing." That's the difference hydration can make. It's not flashy, but without it, the other ingredients can't do their job. So beets for circulation, lemon for absorption, ginger for hormonal balance, coconut water for cellular hydration. Now let's bring them all together into one simple drink. It takes less than a minute to prepare. I remember Alan, 74, lived alone, kept to himself, quiet man, kind eyes. He'd been through a rough few years, loss, illness, distance. He didn't expect much when I handed him the recipe. "This seems too simple," he said. I just smiled and told him, "Try it for a week." 7 days later, he came back. Different posture, a quiet grin. "I feel better," he said. Not young, not perfect, just better. Here's exactly what I told him and what I'll share with you now. Take 2 medium-sized fresh beets, peel and chop them. Add the juice from half a lemon. Slice about 1 inch of fresh, raw ginger powders. Pour in 1 cup of unsweetened coconut water. Blend it all together until smooth. If you prefer a lighter texture, go ahead and strain it. But keep it fresh. That matters. Drink it once, each morning. I recommend 30 to 60 minutes before physical activity or simply as a quiet moment to yourself. Most men begin to notice changes within the first few days. Not a lightning bolt, not a miracle. A shift. That's how it starts. Sometimes it's a little more color in your face, a steadier gait, a better night's rest, a sense that maybe, just maybe, your body isn't done giving back. And then something happens that most men don't expect. Let me tell you about Thomas, 67. Called me the morning after trying the drink for the first time. His voice was almost hushed. "Doc, I don't know if it's in my head, but I felt more awake this morning, like something's back online." And I told him what I'll tell you. It's not in your head. When blood flow improves, everything improves. Your clarity, your energy, your sense of self, even the way your partner looks at you shifts. You begin to show up not just as a man in a body, but as a man who remembers what it feels like to live in that body. You start standing a little taller, speaking with a little more warmth, laughing more easily. This drink doesn't fix everything, but it opens the door. And what walks through is you. The you that's been buried under years of tension and fatigue. The you who still wants to connect, not just physically, but deeply. The you who believed that maybe his best days were already written. But here's the truth most men never hear. Your best days aren't behind you. They're just waiting for you to arrive. Stay with me, because there's something else I need to say, something that might shift how you see all of this. Because once you understand why this matters, you'll understand what's really at stake. There's a moment in every man's life, often quiet, sometimes unspoken, when he begins to wonder if he's fading out. Not dying, not disappearing, just slipping. It doesn't announce itself with alarms or sirens. It comes slowly, softly, like dust settling on a mantle you forgot to clean. One morning, you wake up and realize you haven't felt truly here in quite some time. The kids are grown. The house is quieter than you remember. You walk into the kitchen and forget why. You stand in front of the mirror and see someone you recognize, but only barely. The skin has changed. The posture has shifted. But it's more than that. It's something underneath, something missing. And when your partner reaches for your hand across the dinner table or brushes against you under the covers, you wonder, are they still reaching for you? Or just the memory of who you used to be? That's not something most men talk about. We're not wired that way. We say we're fine. We keep moving forward. We call it aging gracefully. But deep down, there's a question taking shape in the quiet corners of our mind. Is this it? Is this all that's left? I've sat across from countless men over the past 40 years, men who've built families, fought in wars, worked double shifts, kept food on the table through recessions and illness and loss. Men who did everything they were supposed to do and still feel like something's gone dim inside. And what they often want to ask, but rarely do, is this: Doc, is it too late for me? I need you to hear this, and I mean truly hear it. It is not too late. It does not have to end that way. You're not done. You're not broken. You're not past saving. What you're feeling is not weakness. It's distance. A quiet, creeping disconnection from your energy, your intimacy, your sense of purpose. And that doesn't happen because you failed. It happens because somewhere along the way, your body stopped getting what it needs to keep the lights on. You see, it's easy to blame everything on age. Society tells you that slowing down is inevitable, that intimacy fading is just biology. That fatigue, poor sleep, and that hollow feeling in your gut are just the price of getting older. But what if I told you that much of what you're feeling, this emptiness, this low fire that won't quite catch, isn't because of age at all? What if it's simply poor circulation? What if the very blood that once carried your strength, your clarity, your desire, has slowed to a crawl? In medical terms, we call it vascular decline. but I prefer to call it what it really is. Your body whispering that it's time to come home to yourself. And here's where I want to offer something real. Not a pill, not a sales pitch. A small daily ritual that I've seen change lives quietly, gently, and often in ways men never expected. A morning drink made of 4 simple natural ingredients: beets, lemon, ginger, and coconut water. No chemicals, no prescriptions, just nature doing what it's done for thousands of years if we'll let it. Beets open up your blood vessels, helping oxygen and nutrients get where they need to go, especially down there, where many men start to feel the most loss. Lemon helps your body use those nutrients. It lowers inflammation. It clears the fog. Ginger restores testosterone in the synthetic way, but in a way that supports your body's natural rhythm. It brings back the spark, the clarity, the sense that your engine still has power. And coconut water? That's the key that too many men overlook. Because even the best nutrients can't travel if your body's dehydrated. Coconut water hydrates you at the cellular level. It keeps your system humming quietly but effectively. I've seen what happens when men start drinking this each morning. And I don't mean in a lab. I mean real men, retired truck drivers, pastors, single fathers, grieving husbands. Men who thought their best days were gone. One by one, they told me the same thing. I feel awake. Not just sexually, though yes, that often comes back too, but awake in the truest sense, more present, more connected, more themselves. One man told me, "Doc, it's like my body remembered how to show up again." Another said, "My wife looks at me differently now, not because I'm performing better, but because I'm here. I'm actually here." So, if you've felt the slipping, if your mornings are dull and your nights are quiet, if your body feels like a machine running on empty, try this drink. Try it not because it's magic, but because it gives your body the tools it's been quietly asking for. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming presence. It's about waking up and genuinely feeling that you are still a man, still alive, and still capable of so much more than you've been led to believe. If this message stirs something in you, type 1 in the comments. If you're unsure, that's okay too. Type 0 and let me know where you're at. I'm listening. And if you'd like to keep walking this road with me, hit that subscribe button. There's more to come: stories, insights, reminders made just for men like you. Men who still have chapters left to write. Because, friend, you're not fading. You're remembering. And that's where everything begins.